Welcome to Raise Nation Radio, the podcast for nonprofit movers, shakers, and change makers. We are here to fuel your passion with a daily dose of fundraising inspiration while keeping the conversations and connections from the annual Raise Conference alive all year long. Tune in for fresh perspectives, bold strategies, and the hottest trends lighting up the nonprofit world. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, buckle up. Each episode is packed with lively discussions, expert insights, and creative solutions to help you make an even bigger impact. Now get ready for another exciting episode. Please welcome your host from One Cause, Dawn Lego.
Hello, Raise Nation. Welcome back. So great to connect with you again on this channel. I'm your host, Dawn Lego of the Raise Nation Radio podcast. If you're new to this channel, well, we talk about there's no limits, anything fundraising, bold strategies, big ideas. And we also get to talk to wonderful nonprofits just to check in with them, see what's going on, what they need, how they're fundraising, how we can bring you some inspiration. So today's episode is pretty exciting. We have a nonprofit with us that's always very special. Elizabeth Gutierrez is here. Now, I don't know if I can get this out. Deputy Director. Okay, I got that. That's pretty easy. But the Illinois Legislative Latino Caucus Foundation. It's a mouthful. Did I get that right, Elizabeth? Welcome to the show. And how'd I do with that intro?
You got it perfectly.
Good. I'm so glad. Well, welcome to Raise Nation. You are quite the busy team, quite the busy woman. I believe you just had a conference and then you're heading into an event and you're stopping in between to talk to us. So thank you. But before we get into all of that, would you mind introducing yourself to Raise Nation? Who you are, what you do, inside the foundation, outside the foundation, anything you want to share, and just tell us your why and your story, please.
Yeah, of course. So the Illinois Legislative Latino Caucus Foundation's mission is to foster the next generation of Latino leadership while advocating for the needs and wants of the community. We're based in Illinois. We have 34 board members and a small but mighty team of 5 staff. So as you mentioned, we have a variety of different programs, one being our legacy program of our scholarship that we provide to 20 Latino students each year of $5,000 coupled with a leadership development training over the course of 2 days, really to help build their social capital ultimately in the long run. We also have our public policy work that encompasses a conference. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had over 1,200 people come together.
Wow.
Which was really exciting. And then we also include different components of public policy work in the state. And then as well, we do different roundtable discussions with different sectors and associations to just understand different issues impacting the Latino community and how do we work together? What are the opportunities? What are some of those barriers that we can help work through?
Yeah. Wow. Did you say 5-member team and a 1,200 person conference?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how you're still standing. That's pretty incredible. You're really doing crazy amounts of work, back to back to back. Tell me the story of the foundation. Where did it all start? How did we get to where we are today? What's the why behind the mission?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So the foundation itself started way before my time. It was founded in 2002. So I was very young at that point. In 2022, they really moved from being a board-led organization to being a staff-led one. So before then, everything was done by the board, without having someone really thinking about, the day-to-days of the organization. It kind of limited what we could do. So in 2022, they hired their inaugural executive director, Oswaldo Alvarez. He's still here today. And then the staff continued to come on after that. So I've also been here since 2022, which has been really exciting to see the growth of the foundation. Since the founding, we've had that scholarship program, but we knew that we could do more. Half of our board are state legislators of Illinois. The other half are Latino leaders in different private and public sectors. So philanthropy, they're attorneys, they're working in education. So really have an understanding of the Latino community and how can we improve those lives in the long run.
So how was the conference? 1,200 persons. I mean, one cause, we just had our Raise conference in San Antonio, and it's a lot of work. We're, whole team on deck, right? It's so much work. We see that about that number between our attendees and sponsors and speakers. So I know what goes into it. How'd it go for you? Tell me, give me some of the highlights I want the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, when I think about our conference 2 years ago, we had 500 people. And so in three
Wow.
years, we've
Such growth.
incrementally increased our conference from 500 to, I believe it was 750 last year to now 1,200, which has been really exciting. This year, we had a lot of important topics that are impacting the Latino community and just how can we better serve the community itself and provide them with tools for not only engagement, but empowering them in the long run so that they feel connected and, able to do the work on a daily basis and other nonprofits. So really the folks that attended, we had nearly 400 students, several other nonprofit leaders coming together to learn from our organization and partner together so we can continue to do the work and expand it across the state.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love the community that you're building, right? People just starting out, already leading, coming together. It's just a credit to what this small but mighty team has been able to accomplish. But I do want to touch on the philanthropy in the Latino community. I think there's a lot
Mhm.
of myths there that are so unjust and unfair, underscoring that perhaps philanthropy or generosity doesn't mix well with the Latino community. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I'd love to get that message out there and amplify that. What are your thoughts in response when you see some of these things and messages that are just not true, right? I mean, it's just not,
Yeah.
doesn't belong.
Well, I think naturally, like Latinos are very family oriented, they're very community oriented. So I think that's just a myth on its, at to start. But
Yeah.
I think when we think about like Latino organizations and philanthropy, our organization, specifically our conference, is completely free. So there was no charge for people to come in to get those tools and resources. And we only have one main fundraiser a year to help support all of our
Wow.
programs, which is our annual fundraising gala that we use one cause for. So that's really exciting. But
But we're going to
um,
dive into that too. But let's stay
yeah.
on this topic here
Um,
with the myths.
But I think it's really our whole conference theme was education, engagement, and empowerment. So it was how do we come together, share resources, collaborate with one another, and truly give back. Because it's not just for the Latino community, it's for everyone in Illinois. The stuff that we're working on from an organizational standpoint doesn't just touch Latinos, it touches families, it touches kids, and so forth.
Yeah. Wow, good for you. That's just incredible work. Now, you are funding programming and the conference with one major fundraiser a year. That's remarkable.
Correct.
This has got to be one heck of an event, and it's coming up, right? I mean, did anyone look at the calendar when you did your conference and your major fundraiser back to back? I mean, that's a lot to execute. So you've been probably planning for a while. Tell us all about the event and how somebody can get involved.
Yeah, our gala's on November 21st. And so it is at Navy Pier at the Aon Graham Ballroom. We're expecting nearly
Yeah.
850 attendees, which is really exciting. We do it every single year. We have, I believe, over 50 or 60 different sponsors come in, as well as community leaders, advocates, and so forth. So it's a really great way to not only celebrate the Latino community, because we really try to make it prideful
Mm.
despite a lot of things going on, but bring everyone together. And as I mentioned, this one fundraising event funds all of our programs throughout the next year.
Wow. So there's a lot riding on it. Good Lord. It's okay. So is there a theme? Is there a name? Is there anything we need to know about?
Yeah, so this is our fourth annual gala.
Okay.
In 2022, that was the first time we ever had a gala. So when I came on shortly after our executive director, he was like, we have to plan a gala. And we had never planned a gala. That was news to me. I had thrown like backyard barbecues, but very different than hosting a gala. Since then, we've grown, even in that first initial year. It was, okay, 400 people were expecting to come, and then it grew to 500, and then it grew to 600, all within that year. So we kept having to extend, open the seats and increase the seating.
That's not a bad problem to have.
No, it was fantastic and it was really exciting. But then when we went to, the consecutive years after that, we grew to 850. So 850 is really our cap to make sure that we have enough room for people to dance, because of course we know that we love to dance. And so, this year's theme is Our Wings, Our Legacy, really
Love
playing
that.
on, the monarch butterfly, eagle's wings that you see in different Latin American countries. And what we've always tried to do is center art in our program. And so we actually have 4 artists that were nominated that represent Mexico, Central America, South America, as well as the Caribbean. And they will be painting 4 sets of wings that will be auctioned off on the night of our gala.
So intentional going from, hey, let's plan a gala, which is no easy statement by any means, right? To this, I'm actually getting chills how the whole culture, the Latino culture is just, and the mission of the foundation is just interwoven and intentional and also revenue producing. So kudos. That's fantastic. How has this gala changed in the 4 years? Like, what has evolved? What's different from year 1 to year 4?
I think when we initially came on, it was, okay, you need to just plan a regular gala. And I think we didn't know what we knew. I think we came in, it was August, and we planned our gala in November the first year. So it was in 3 months. We had to come together, figure out how to do a gala first off, but then also, how do we make it special and unique? At that time, I'd gone to a handful of galas and still was like, I don't know how to do this myself. But since then, we've really been intentional in making sure that we're being really celebratory. So despite the fact that, other galas might do it differently, we really are intentional in saying this is about celebrating the Latino contributions in Illinois, celebrating our culture, whether you're Puerto Rican, Mexican, Salvadorian, Ecuadorian, Guatemalan. We bring all of those flavors into our gala. And so there really is a lot of intentionality. I think something that I laugh at is the first year we had a donation where we had hot Cheetos at our gala. And it was so funny because we've had them in like the to-go bags for people. And I
Okay.
think initially people were like, hot Cheetos, but then people were eating their hot Cheetos as they were leaving the gala. It was like such a small, but like
Intentional.
subtle nod to like,
Yes.
they thought about this. And even bringing in different Puerto Rican, beverages, as well as like the food that we choose. We make sure there's different elements that celebrate the different cultures that are within the Latino community.
Yeah, well, one cause we have our headquarters in Carmel, Indiana. I'm trying to figure out how I can get some type of trip, one cost trip going so that I can attend, because you're making me want to attend this. It really sounds like it's just really well designed and a lot of thought is going into it. How can people get involved if they want to attend or volunteer, or are you still procuring silent auction items? What are some of the elements of the event? I assume silent, live, raffle, all the things. Tell us about it.
Yeah, of course. So if someone would love to attend our gala, our tickets are open. We also would love to have new sponsors come in, join us at our event. Again, we welcome over 850 people. There is still room to support the mission of the organization if you resonate with it. But then also we do a silent auction. So that's typically open throughout our cocktail reception as well as throughout the evening of the gala. And so if someone wanted to provide a donation that we can include in that, that would be fantastic. Typically, our live auctions are centering on those art pieces that we have, because
Beautiful.
we really want to shine the
So
spotlight
those
on them.
all go into the live moment. It's got to be exciting. Wow. So you did decide to use tech. I want to touch on that a little bit. At what
Mhm.
point did you bring technology into your event, and what are you using today? We're so honored to play a small role. I kind of answered the question before I
Mhm.
even ask it. We are honored to play that small role in your fundraising program. But just talk a little bit about tech. Why was it necessary? When did you bring it in? How did the foundation engage with it? And how do your donors engage with it?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So if we go back to the beginning and when we had to figure out how to do a gala, and we had talked with different community partners, other people that had galas, and One Cause was a recommended service. There are a lot out there, but this one kind of had some of those things that we really felt like we needed. Since then, I've kind of grown with One Cause in terms of the additions, the updates, and also just naturally figuring it out because every single year it's like, oh yeah, I have to come back to this thing. And we end up using it for our other programs as well. So the gala is our biggest one where we're really using the full capacity of what One Cause has, from the donation component to the seating charts to the meal selection to people getting, their ticket and getting event ready before the actual event to make sure that our check-in process is that much swifter and more efficient. So I think tech has played a big role in our gala because it just makes our small but mighty staff that much more efficient on the day of to make things easier.
Do you think you could run an event without tech?
I don't even know how that's
I'm just
I would
kidding
choose
with you.
not to do it. Yeah, I think like there really is One Cause is a helping hand in that, and also the One Cause staff that we've interacted with. We've been fortunate to work with Maria Flay from One Cause at every single event we've had on the day of, helping with our check-in process. And I request her every year. I'm like, Maria better be there because she knows it and she understands our event, which makes it that much easier for
Well,
us.
we're in our software every single day, right? It's hard for nonprofits because you're not, right? You're in your CRM, you're in One Cause, you're in your financial you're in this, that, and the other thing, right? So, it's hard to master it and perfect it, which is why we actually created a certification program for that very reason. Don't know if you know about it, but we have a 5-week completely free certification program because we want to bring our support to that next level and get everyone into the software as a master user, just like we know the software. But in the meantime, we still have Maria, which is fantastic. So that's pretty exciting. I also want to talk to you about your scholarship recipients.
Yeah, of
Who
course.
are they? How many applications do you get a year? What does that process look like? And if somebody is looking to apply, how does that work?
Yeah, I love that question. As kind of briefly mentioned earlier, this has been our long-standing program that has existed since the foundation first began. In 2022, we did a lot of intentional work to think about, is this program serving all of the students in the community as we are envisioning it to? And so what we did in 2022 is increase our scholarship from $2,500 to $5,000. And we also expanded it from just undergraduate students, knowing that students are not just going into undergraduate programs, but they're also becoming mechanics, beauticians, so forth. And also, aside from undergraduate degrees, we have Latinos that are going to become doctors or wanting to get their PhD. And this, unfortunately, our scholarship at that time wasn't allowing for them to also apply to that. So what we did is we expanded it to include all programs of study, as well as increase the scholarship to $5,000. Every single year in May, typically the first week of May, during what we have Latino Unity Day, which is in Springfield, Illinois, we align those dates to be the day that our scholarship opens. And then our scholarship is typically open from May to July. So just recently, we have finished the review process and we have selected our 20 winners, which will be unveiled at our gala on November
20. Wow.
20. So $100,000, to these students every single year. And we're really excited because we've started to actually build an endowment because of all of the fundraising that we've done over the last couple of years. I did have one other thing that I'm kind of losing, but I don't want to lose. I think our scholarship program is great in the sense that it's not just us handing them a check. Like in previous years, we wanted to make sure that this was a process where they are getting the funds to support their educational career. It's coupled with that leadership development that we do before the gala. Many times, a lot of these students have never been to a gala. They're invited, they get to bring a guest, they get to interact with some of our sponsors so that maybe there's a job opportunity that opens up from that. And then in addition, they're a part of our alumni association where there's different educational career development opportunities for them moving forward.
How many applications do you see annually?
That's a great question. So this has been something that's also been slowly growing. So the first year when I came on, I think we had traditionally had about 100. And at that time, the system that we used was like a Google Sheets, like a Google form. So it was very, Google Sheets is great, but it wasn't great for what we were trying
For
to
scaling.
accomplish.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we did a lot of work. We have a like formalized form now. It's not obviously with one cause, but we now see over 600 applications. So just our most recent cycle, we had over 600 applications.
How do you break that down? How does the committee break it down and get to a top 20 from 600? They're
Yeah.
crazy numbers.
So we have a 3-part process that we use, but a lot of our alumni from previous years actually are a part of alumni association committee. So they donate their time back to make sure that we're, serving the next generation of leaders that are coming in. So it's really intentional where we have our alumni giving back their time, not only from the reviewing of the scholarship applications, but also in helping us do that leadership development seminar that I talked about. So in October 24th and 25th, we have previous alumni coming in talking about their career path, how much the scholarship meant to them, how to stay involved, why it's important to stay involved, and so forth. So there's really like this
Full
ecosystem.
circle. Yeah, it all comes together. I love that. Share with us what you think or what you've heard this scholarship means to the recipients, right? I mean, if you have a couple of quotes of people that have submitted something or said something to you, we'd love to hear it, or just your personal thoughts about just what it means to empower Latinos in your community.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I have like one really big story that I want to share, but I
I
think
want to hear it.
generally, I think a lot of people are like, this is the difference between me finishing a program and not finishing a program.
Wow.
And so $5,000 goes a lot of ways, especially, when they're trying to complete it. We have people that are going for their doctorate degree, that are just trying to finish beauty school. And those costs look a little bit different, but it's still many times we're hearing that same notion that without this, I'm not completing this program, I'm taking a year off, or I'm having to wait because we just don't have the funds. And right now we're seeing that as a particular hurdle that people are experiencing. But I think one of our biggest like claim to fame is someone on our board, a state legislator, Representative Barbara Hernandez, received the scholarship years ago in 2019, I believe it was. But, before we even came on, she received it in college. I think she was in her undergrad, because she went on to get her master's, but completed this program. And then lo and behold, years later, ended up being elected as a state representative for
Wow.
Illinois and now serves on our board.
And serves on you. Everything is just full circle and community driven and intentional. You connect the dots so beautifully. Where do you see the foundation going? If you had a crystal ball or you could influence the future, what does the next 5 years look like?
That's a big question because I
I
don't even
know
know
it.
where, but I think the foundation continues to grow like on a step stool, ladder, staircase, continuum. And it's essentially, I can see it continuing to grow, not only in scale of like the amount of people just attending our events, but also just more people coming together and understanding that this is a family. And especially when we think about, the state of Illinois, like we're nearly 20% Latino, and we're just scratching the surface. And I think what we're trying to do is provide programs and, provide support across the board. So whether you're someone who's trying to improve, health, to someone who's trying to have better housing options, to things of that nature, to educational opportunities, like the work that we're doing is trying to touch on all of these things. So I think the work that we're doing now is to expand and hopefully grow in the future.
Well, let's hope that staircase growth, just continues. It's truly remarkable. I want to wrap up with what you need, right? You've inspired me today. So I would imagine you've inspired our audience there in Raise Nation. And, when they're hearing this, listening to it, how can they get involved? Whether it's on a monetary level. I mean, we all know nonprofits, donations are always, welcome. But aside from that, like how could they learn more, be involved? And we're going to create show notes, right? So I'm going to put the link to your event if people want to buy tickets, and to your website, and, all the things. We'll get all those links in and create a nice, show notes to support this conversation. But for those that are listening, what do you want to tell them if they'd like to get involved or if they're part of the Latino community?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great call to action. I always like the call to action. So I think at minimum, I think checking out our website and going to our public policy work, I think you'll see kind of like the breadth of the work that we're doing every year after that conference. Really, we center on the engagement and soliciting for community feedback. Like, it's our organization. What can we do to support, your livelihood? And so every year after that conference, we come up with a report. So it's our Raices report. And it really encompasses people's exactly what they're saying in the conference. So we ask you, is this your lived experience? And if not, tell us what is, so that we can make sure that the things that we are doing align with that. And so I think that's a great place to understand like the breadth of the work. But then following us on Instagram, I think you'll get the fun side.
Oh, I'm going to do that right now. Go ahead.
ILLC Foundation. On Instagram. I think that's where you kind of see our personality shine. Even though we're a public policy organization, we bring fun flair, but also, on the side of like fundraising and things, of course, yes, we're always going to accept sponsorship or, that kind of support, but also because we have, the elements of arts and want to like bring in new leaders in these spaces, there's so many opportunities to collaborate. So aside from our gala, we have our leadership development seminar. We have a Latina Heritage Day brunch in March where we really highlight Latinas. So if you are falling in or there's a program that you really align with, let us know so that we can uplift your work especially.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. A great word, uplift. What a perfect way to end this conversation. So I want to wish you amazing luck in November. Let's hope you raise all the programming needs and then some. I can't wait to check out the site. Is it live on,
It is.
I assume you're using the One Cause fundraising platform. Is that right?
We are.
Great. Okay. I'm going to check it out. I have back-end access to these things, so pretty cool. I can't wait to see the beautiful artwork. I think it's just so special. What you're doing is special, and I absolutely applaud just your growth, your community, your family. It's pretty amazing. We're going to be following, and hopefully some of our community will hear this and get involved, and you'll be hearing from them soon. Thank you so much. I know you're super busy between the conference and, trying to put this podcast in between the conference and the gala. I don't know how you did it, but I really appreciate your time and just chatting with us today. It's so special.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn. Let us know if you'd like to continue collaborating, but we really appreciate the opportunity. And don't worry, our One Cause site is up, but on the back end, you might be like, where's everybody? I'm still putting them in. So
no worries. It's always a work in progress, right?
Right.
But no, we'll watch it, how it evolves. I'm glad to be following you. Best of luck to you. Raise Nation, that's a wrap for today's show. Big thank you to Elizabeth Gutierrez. I'm not going to even say, well, I am. Illinois Legislative Latino Caucus Foundation. My goodness. But follow them on Instagram. It's just the initials. It's easier. We'll get it into the show notes. So thank you, Elizabeth, and to the team. We appreciate all of you tuning in because you're the heartbeat of this community. Your voices, your experiences make this podcast channel uniquely inspiring. So don't be a stranger. Either join us on the show, share your story like Elizabeth did. We want to continue building this incredible community together. But until next time, you stay fearless and keep raising the nation.
Thank you so much.
Fearless Fundraisers, that's a wrap for today. A heartfelt thank you to our guests for sharing their stories, insights, and expertise. And to you, our fantastic audience, for everything you do to build brighter tomorrows in our communities. We hope today's content inspires you to amplify your mission and grow your impact. Don't forget to join us for new episodes every Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcasts, or catch us on YouTube and on demand at onecause.com. And before we go, we'd love your help in growing this podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, follow, and subscribe to Raise Nation Radio. Share it with a friend, and please leave us a review so we can continue delivering content that inspires and empowers. Raise Nation Radio is produced in partnership with One Cause, your go-to for digital fundraising solutions that connect nonprofits with their donors and drive results. Visit onecause.com or scan the QR code to schedule a one-to-one with their fundraising experts. and explore the latest tools and innovations to help you reach more and raise more. Plus, be sure to check out their extensive catalog of free resources to support your mission. All the links are in the show notes. Raise Nation Radio is inspired by the annual Raise Conference, presented by One Cause. We'd love to see you in person at the next Raise event in September. It's a 2-day experience featuring over 35 CFRE accredited sessions, dynamic speakers, and the latest innovations from our sponsor pavilion, and priceless networking opportunities. And while you're there, don't miss the Fearless Fundraiser Party. It's where memories are made and lifelong friendships are formed. Secure your spot today at onecause.com/raise. The link is also in the show notes. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and as always, stay fearless.